Hello, my friend.
Hi. Thanks for having me
Well,
back on.
of course, it's my pleasure and honor to have you back on. Welcome to Authenticity, part of Soulogy Network. Yes, welcome back.
Thank you.
And I don't know that people realize this about you, Sarah. I know that you've been on before, and that some of the people who are aware of you locally, our closest friends, and people who heard of Sarah Remer in our circles know you as this amazing artist.
Oh, thank you.
But what I know about you as well is that you have many, many, many gifts. And one of them as well is psychic abilities and some expanded gifts that you're continually having more confidence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it, it's a weird thing, I shut it down for many years because it freaked me out and it also freaked other people out. There was less I feel like we're in a time now where people are really receptive. The more we expand, the more people become aware of, you know, this universal consciousness, the expansiveness of the reality we live in. People are becoming a lot more receptive to, you know, just tapping in. And one of the things that I tell people too is everybody has these abilities. Everyone does. It's not just, you know, something that's this magical thing that you're blessed with at birth that is, a unique gift. It is really available to everybody.
Being that that you're a dear friend of mine, Sarah, and that we spend at least 3 to 4 days either on the phone, text message, or in person. We do spend a lot of time, and we have been able to observe and be witness to our own personal growth, our own embodiment, and our own expansion. The last time I had you on the show, I believe it was with Christine John, and we were talking about relationships and where you guys were both at. And
Mm-hmm.
I use this platform for us to be very present with what we want to share and what we feel organically wants to come through. And for you, Sarah, I know that you've, like many of us, including myself, have been through so many transitions
Mm,
and awarenesses.
yes,
And we can say lessons, right? And
absolutely.
so, as an artist, here in Boise, a local Boise artist, and someone who is embodying their higher self in form every day and every moment. Welcome to January 2024. Why? I was like, where do you want to start in your journey? I mean, I want to go over so much with you because
I know, I
your
know.
art, your gifts, and your friendship and your sisterhood means so much to me. But I really want people to hear from Sarah and what Sarah wants to share that you feel would benefit others from hearing you speak.
Oh, wow. Um, I think the biggest thing that I want to share is that if you're going through situations in your life where you're having to almost kind of change course and it's really uncomfortable, like say you've been in a relationship for a long time and you feel like that this was going to be your future and it's all of a sudden just getting ripped out from under you. If you feel like, you know you have a great job and then all of a sudden you're let go, or something happens where you're forced to leave, this is all a big part of the energies that we're in and the transitions that we're being pushed to make. And as somebody who came out of last year was probably one of the most challenging years I've been through, although I say that sometimes there's been many. I've gone through many ego deaths, many periods of time where I don't even know the direction my life is going. That it's always happening for you, not to you. I say this all the time, and I'm sure people who are around me are kind of used to me always saying that. But it's so important at this time to remember that, because so many people in my life, and I'm sure you've noticed this as well, Anna, including myself, have been going through these wild transitions and wild, um, I call them expansive experiences that in the moment can feel like the world is crumbling around you, your reality, certain programming that you've had, you know, just almost kind of realizing that it's all just a facade and that we've all been kind of playing into these roles or certain expectations of what we want for ourselves or what others think that we want or whatever. It's just kind of, it's shifting at such a drastic rate right now that it is really hard at times and challenging to stay in surrender and trust. And that is something that I have been forced to do to the point where I don't have a choice if I want to keep moving forward. And for somebody, who tends to need that push, entering 2024 looks so different than entering 2023. I don't have any idea of what the future holds. I don't even pretend to know. I've come in with such a blank slate as far as what is possible, what could be presented going forward, that I just know deep down that I need to be open. I need to be open to whatever comes in. And that had to do with a lot of, I think, what going through last year and letting go of so much. One of the big things I let go of is feeling the need to have a romantic partner. I always felt like that was going to bring in support for me in a way where I could live a life that was more authentic, which is so crazy because it's like, oh, if I have a partner, then I can really do what I want because I have someone else maybe contributing to rent, all of these things. And the last two relationships that I was in forced me to see that I was living on a perception that was based on the old, because I ended up being the one that had to carry everything. I had to be the one financially responsible to a detriment to myself. And that was my lesson, right? I'm deserving of love. I don't need to give of myself to a fault. That was the lesson.
We had spoken about this lesson that you're talking about that many of us have been through, but there was lessons within lessons and gifts within this lesson.
Absolutely.
Excuse me, we understand why looking back, why we needed to experience that.
Oh, yes.
What did that experience show you, Sarah, about the lesson? What was in this lesson besides your self-worth? But we had spoke about the way we believed things should be about others, our family members, and the way that we had this thought process of what we believed perhaps didn't look right in others' relationships. And we didn't want that for ourselves. So we went the other direction very far. Right. And so
Yes.
that's what I'm getting at, is that there was other gifts within that that assisted you to move forward, and those around you like myself, because we all learn from each other.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
did you want to share about what that other awarenesses you had that come through for you in 2023 by being in a relationship and now
Mm.
not needing that relationship? What was the gift in that?
The biggest gift was realizing that everything that was reflected back to me was how I felt about myself. And not only that, that the love that I sought, right? Like I wanted that experience of love, that that was only an emotion that arose in me based on something outside of myself. And that realization made, you know, was so profound because I realize now that I feel love every day, all the time, because I appreciate and have gratitude for so many things. It's really pushed me into that state of gratitude and so much more forgiveness for myself of what I've created, the situations that have come into my life that I know I've created that I needed to learn from. It's forgiveness and gratitude also for those experiences because what they've shown me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's nothing more freeing than feeling completely content and whole within. And I finally feel like I'm at a space where I embody that in a way that I've never embodied before. Um, it's not that certain things have become easier. It's still a struggle, in certain like areas of my life. But I know that the more I stay in gratitude, the more that things flow, the more that it's a practice. And you talk about this a lot, Anna. Like we've talked about this. It's that staying in gratitude, staying in trust, staying in surrender, because you've seen me with my struggle in that. And even the words that I choose to use, because I've been so conditioned and programmed over time, by my fears that I wasn't letting go of, to be in that lack mentality. And you really helped me understand that the power of my thoughts, the power of my reactions, the power of the words I choose to use. And it's pushed me into a space where when those feelings arise and when those thoughts arise, I have the wherewithal now to redirect. So I would say those are the biggest things that have, like, the biggest lessons that came out of last year. Because you can know this information, but it's different when you start embodying it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've known it for a long time, but it is a practice. This doesn't just come overnight. We live in, the reality we live in, there's still so much density, and it's so easy to take that on and make that a part of our experience. And it's been some definite mental jujitsu that I've had to do, and remaining focused on positive outcomes, positive thoughts, positive feelings, all of it. And sometimes it's okay to just surrender into it too. I've learned is, sometimes you just have to feel into it, and that's the only way you're gonna let go. But
I shared a post this morning. I was going to pull it up. I shared a post this morning that really speaks to what we're talking about. And it was Sandra's decree. Sandra Walters, a beautiful sister and
I saw
out
that. It was
there
beautiful.
And one of the things that we're really speaking about that we're doing is in this decree, she mentions transcending the constructs of duality, good and evil, dark and light, all illusion experienced in density. So when we talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, we're really taking responsibility for our own creations. And I had this conversation on another podcast a couple of weeks ago, and it had to do with manifestation. And what we're understanding is that creation itself and manifestation are one. That creation is from our thoughts that become manifested in the physical. So, because we're so used to hearing manifestation when it comes to abundance, right? Or financial abundance, because abundance itself is a state of being. Love is abundant, friendship is abundant, but we always generally go to financial abundance.
Yes.
And so, really, it's 2024 is exactly that, is we're transcending all of duality, all of what we thought was real, so that we can create and manifest from our heart space in a new way, which is magnificent and profound. I want to take this moment and shift to your art. This last piece that you created, when I looked at it, and then that reel, I attached it to my promo today. The reel, when it zooms into that woman, and it almost looks like she's peering through this veil. And you can interpret it in so many ways. It could be the pushing through the glass ceiling. It could be pushing through the veil. It could be the cosmic egg. It could be the wedding veil. It could be the birth. There's so many beautiful things to be interpreted by your latest painting. What inspired you to paint that?
It was an interesting painting to do because normally I'll kind of have an idea of what I want to paint. I'll start painting it, I'll take a step away and kind of go back to it. This one came out immediately, and it was not the direction I thought it was going to go. The idea I had in my head, and it didn't feel, it's really odd because I normally like to spend more time on a painting, and this one felt like, in my perception, it wouldn't be complete yet.
Mm.
But it told me it was complete. And I was forced to kind of walk away. I maybe went back and added a few little things, but no, for the most part, it came out and it was just, this is what needs to come out right now.
Do you have it nearby?
I do. I knew you were going to ask, so I grabbed my few of my paintings. But yeah, this is one.
Yeah. And you called it golden.
Called it Serenity.
Serenity. I don't know what I saw a caption of golden, maybe in the reel.
Yeah, in the reel. Yeah, it's just the goldenness of it, the warmth, but like the gold felt pure. I don't know what it was, but like there was something pure about it. and deep at the same time. And because I don't normally work with these colors, but it just I felt really compelled to. And again, it's, you know, when I do faces and things like that, I always like to take my time and really work out the details and go back and highlight. This one came out so quick, and when I look at it, it doesn't feel like it landed exactly where I want it to, but it's where it's meant to be. So that's just, it was a really fun experience to paint that. It's also pushing me, my paintings have been pushing me to do that more, where it's like, it's okay that it's not perfect. It's okay that in my mind, it's not exactly, you know, what I would feel is, you know, complete. Because sometimes that's what needs to come out.
There's so much richness in what you just said. Because we really aren't ever complete, are we? Evolving, we're infinite. Infinite, our creations are infinitely expanding and always room for interpretation and perception.
Right.
And you and I were talking about that, you know, what authenticity and being authentic, because I had misspelled the guest part of my promo and I had a minute and it was easy to touch up. And your response was beautiful. You said, well, you know, the typo is authentic. That is authenticity. Mm-hmm. And there was a lessons in there for me as well, you know, for myself. And there's beauty in imperfection. What is perfection?
Right.
Isn't that art in creation in motion?
Mm-hmm.
It's also that transcending all of that. It helps us. Yeah, one way or another, we're transcending our belief systems and what we thought needs to be, like you said, that your painting wasn't complete, or that in my promo, I misspelled the R is next to, you know, right next to the T, whatever. I didn't see it.
And I thought it was I looked at it as like, oh, it's perfect. It's authentic.
It's just like Anna.
Yeah.
I do it all the time in my text messages. I am guilty. I will be pressing the buttons and I'm saying it in my head, but in my thought pattern is a lot faster than I'm typing. So by the time I get to the second or third word, I don't realize that I have skipped over typing some of the words. And so I'll be glad when we just telepathically communicate.
It's part of it. It is. It's part of it. It's so funny because, like we were talking the other day about how like remembering little details, right? Mm-hmm. And how as we move more into this multidimensional self, there's no reason to store away unnecessary information. So I'll be like, oh, I told you about that yesterday. And Anna's like, I don't remember, you know, or she's like, oh yeah. And it's part of it. And I think we get some good laughs out of it because it's
it's a learning experience, Sarah, for all of us, because our consciousness is shifting in such a way. Like that day, it was with Brian's show, and he had asked me over a phone call if we can go at 11. And in my own scheduling, because I didn't put a reminder on my calendar, I didn't realize or remember, even in my own life, that we were going on at 11.
It happens.
It's asking me to constantly just be present, because what my focus right now apparently is embodying presence in itself.
Mm.
And so it comes with fog brain when we have downloads, you know this. Uh, Memory loss, which is short-term memory loss. It comes with many things, as you know, because we talk about it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that day we were having a conversation and you were reminding me, you're like, I know you're present with me. I don't know why
I
you
know,
don't.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I also get it because we've laughed about it, where I've had experiences like that. Like, what? I don't even remember. And I remember I used to say, "Oh, I'm just being ADD." Sorry, my dog. No, sorry, I'm being ADD. And then you're like, "No, you're just being multidimensional."
It's your cute little dog. Maybe she wants to be on camera.
Yeah, she never barks, which is so funny. But as soon
Willow.
as it's
It's
an inappropriate time, she barks. Like the middle of the night, or it's kind of like when you get a text, right? When you start doing something, it's like I always wondered why the universe plays those little tricks. Like, why is that? Like, you're all day, your phone doesn't ring, and then all of a sudden you're busy, and then your phone rings. I
of
feel like
course.
that happens so often.
And more now.
Yeah,
And
right.
you could just get sitting down to watch a movie, and all of a sudden, all your friends want to contact you or your family
Every time, every
every
time.
time. It's all or none proposition for sure. Sarah,
Oh,
I know that we discussed that you wanted to just go on for like 40 minutes or something, and I think we've been going for
yeah.
uh, 30 minutes. And I wanted to talk. Do you, besides your paintings and your being a beautiful light encoded work that you do, are you exploring some of your psychic abilities? I know you just had a private session with a friend and you do card readings. And is that something you're exploring and that you want to share that maybe some of the
Mm,
listeners now or on the replay might want to contact you for? Do you want to express anything about that?
yes. I One of the things that I do love doing sessions, and I always feel like somebody reaches out to me if they need it.
Mm.
And if they're called to have me do it, and it's always been something that I really enjoy doing, but as a lot of people who have these abilities now are using these abilities, it can be very draining. Readings, I've been doing those for quite a while. They're fun. My main thing is about empowering people to tap into their own intuition. I don't like to do fortune telling. I don't like to predict the future. I don't like doing that kind of stuff. I
Well, give
really
me
what
an
I do.
example. I know what you did. Sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to talk over you because there's a
No.
little bit of a lag. So just be a little bit more detailed. Your last
Yeah.
session, uh, your friend connected with you because he wanted to connect with his
Mm,
father who had transitioned to the other side.
yes. And I haven't done that like for somebody who actually wanted to schedule a session with me. I've had it come through numerous times, like for friends, clients, with my brow business. I've had experiences where I've had nudges from spirits on the other side that wanted to connect. And it's one of the most beautiful experiences when you can connect someone to their loved ones. And, it's not something that I do very often. And when it comes through and it ends up happening, it's such a beautiful experience. And there's so much, I just feel so honored when I have the opportunity to give someone healing and closure and peace with knowing that their loved ones are with them.
I
And,
see
you know,
you
the
right
love,
after that.
yeah,
And you were
it was
so
a,
expanded.
yeah. Well, it was definitely, I was called to do it. You
Mhm.
know, there was no mistake. You know, that person was guided to me for a reason. So I knew that I was going to be the person that was going to, you know, be the liaison, I guess I'd call it,
Mhm.
to them connecting with their loved one. And um, it's wild because, you know, as soon as that person texts me, they're like, "Hey, are you a medium?" And I'm like, "No." And I'm like, "Well," you know, it's such a weird thing because sometimes it's hard for me to believe that it's happening
Mhm.
because I've shut it down for so long and I've had so many experiences. Like when my dad passed away, he came to me in a dream that was very profound, it was very real. And it gave me so much peace and healing and closure. And, you know, I, I believe that everybody has the ability to connect with their loved ones. And a lot of people don't pay attention to the little things that they show up that are them connecting. So, you know, sometimes needing that person to give you, you know, connect that is very helpful for people who just really have a hard time believing that that is what is occurring. Um, but if I think it's happening for people all the time. And, it, you know, for example, like when I do my readings, because, you know, I don't, it's one of my things where um, I don't know why, but I think because when I was younger, I used to go get readings all the time. And I would leave kind of feeling like, oh, a lot of information. I would feel more confused.
Hmm.
Like it, one of the things I do when I give a reading is I just try to guide people into going into themselves. Like, and I love that. And I think we all have the ability to do that. And sometimes people just need reminders. But yeah, I mean, I think more and more people are going to start having these abilities come online for them. You know, I don't think um, I'm like I'm specifically gifted. I think it's just something that I've cultivated over the years, became more open with my own awakening and had more awareness. Um, but the magic is happening all around us all the time. And
Yeah.
everybody has the ability to tap in. And we're seeing that with people around us. You know, we were talking about that yesterday.
Yeah.
Just people starting to, you know, I wonder if that was a sign. Or, you know, ooh, I saw 1111. Or, you know, I have this one experience, or like telling you, I have people like telling me about their dreams, like, what do you think it means? And I'm like, they're already questioning and starting to look at things deeper. That's all it is.
Yeah. Well,
Paying
that's how you
attention.
know that's how you know the mother has the energy has landed on the planet and that we're on fast uh forward now in
Yeah,
part of
so cool.
humanity's ascension and evolution. I remember you saying that your friend had said something like, I remember you talking about this stuff a long time ago, and now here we are. And I'm like, Sarah was
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Planting
Yeah.
seeds. I always say I'm kind of I kind of throw my seeds out there and plant some seeds. And um, it is a fun time to not feel like the weird person in the room. Like I don't feel like it anymore. Like it's becoming you know, I've always tried to stay authentic to this is something that's a part of me. But you know, now it's so fun seeing so many people be receptive or coming back around like, oh, you know, like another friend of ours where He's like, I remember you guys used to talk about, you and Anna used to talk about,
Oh, yeah.
the solar flares and the weird stuff going on. He's like, now I get it. It's like we're
Yeah.
always planting seeds. We're,
Yeah.
putting it out there. And I think more and more people are starting to wake up, and it makes me really excited to see it.
Me too. Is these sessions that we were talking about, is that something you want to explore more? Should people, do you want people to get a hold of you if they feel comfortable or something they're seeking?
If they if they have it, like I always say, if they feel called to, that's it. Um, Especially with that with my readings, that's a little different. I'm always open, to doing readings. I can do them over Zoom, I do them in person. That's different as far as connecting with loved ones on the other side. I really do believe that it's something where if you're called to do it with me. Yeah.
And then on your art,
Mm-hmm.
I know that you've sold many of paintings across the sea, and you have to ship them. And just to make people aware that the shipping fees, that you put
Mm-hmm.
up a price, of how much you're
Yeah.
painting or you're selling it for. But
People are always baffled at how much it is. And I'm
yeah,
like, yeah, it's crazy
do you
how
want to
much
share? Do you want to share some of your experiences on costs and what it's costing right now?
yeah. So I price my pieces affordable, like I make them very affordable because I
Mhm.
want people to have the experience of having the art in their home. And no matter where they're at in life. Um, Shipping does end up being quite costly. It can be on average anywhere from $50 to $300 to ship a painting.
Yeah,
And people who purchase my paintings to have them shipped are totally, they don't
they're
have
aware.
problems. Very
Okay.
aware. Yeah, yeah. But I've had people where they just don't understand how it could be that much. And it's just,
Yeah,
packing too. I mean, I have to pack up the paintings so that they don't get damaged. There's box, all the stuff. It's a lot of work, but
I
um,
know.
it's something I've been pushed to take on, which has been amazing. And I'm just so blessed that and honored that people are appreciating my work and are wanting to bring it into their home. So yeah.
I, you've helped me grow in that department, Sarah, because when I'm out window shopping or actually shopping, or I'm thinking about decorating or something I want to do, I have most of my things in storage, and I'm in a space, grateful that I'm in this space that, but I wanted a few things on the wall. I love decorating, it's one of my creative abilities. And it has made me rethink the way that I purchase and
Mm.
how I want to decorate. And I know it's a lot easier. I could, or less expensive. I could go down to wherever and buy a cookie cutter photo that I like, or from Hobby Lobby, or Ross or Target or wherever people shop, and they for their decor. And I've stopped myself
Mm.
because I want, or desire, I should say, moving forward. And this is something new as well. It's something that's always been there, but we settle for things. Like, I'd rather have something on the wall temporary until I can afford what I really like, is what we used to say. And now I just would rather leave it bare until I get what I want or desire, and spend the money towards a local artist. And it brings new meaning to small business. And there's a more intimate relationship with my purchase.
And
And
and I
it's,
feel like it's that exchange too, right? Like, where we're giving to someone where it always comes back. You know, it's like it's different when you go out and buy just something from Target.
Yeah.
You're contributing to this person's growth and what they do and appreciating it. And in turn, I feel like it comes back. It's more of an equal exchange.
Yeah. And let me clarify, there's nothing wrong with buying things from any of those
No,
places.
no, guilty,
That's not what
guilty.
I mean.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard to live life and not need to go to those places from time to
Yeah,
time.
no, of
You
course.
know, yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just showing the value in having something handcrafted versus something that's made in a factory or in mass produce.
Yeah. And
There's
then my space becomes all art and
mm,
creativity, right? From people I know and love deeply. And it changes the vibration of the motif, or, like the thinness of it and how it flows. And so I'm grateful that I do own several of your pieces. And I have one here that my granddaughter, I'm going to give that to her.
oh, I'm excited.
See, is it on the screen?
Yeah, it's coming in and out, but
Uh,
we're getting flashes.
yeah,
There
yeah.
we go. There we go. Well, now it's off. No, neither
I,
of you
tr-
are
I tried,
on. You tried.
but I'm so glad that you came on so we could share your
Yeah.
art. And please do share this out and comment on this video. Because of the algorithms on Facebook, we do get suppressed. And
I know.
so, and not just myself, but others, it's just like what I was saying about buying art from you or from other items that our friends create, is that we're putting it back in to ourselves. And we'll get less advertisement on our feed and more of what we want to see if we take the time to comment and like our friends and families' posts or those near and dear to us.
Yes. I'm very lucky where I feel very blessed that I've had so many people share, including you, with my art and, all the support. It's just amazing. It really does mean so much that, people are supporting in that way. And you're a big support to me. So yes, I agree with that. And I'm always happy to support you.
And you do. I
I
love you. I
love
honor you. Thank you for sharing and walking side by side with me on this journey.
you. It's my
You're
honor.
you're beautiful. And I'm going to see you this afternoon. We're going to be celebrating our close
Yes.
bestie.
I cannot wait. I know. I'm so excited. It's so beautiful seeing people find healing and growth in their lives. And it's wonderful to celebrate right now. We need to celebrate the milestones. You can look at a lot of the density that's going on in the world, but let's celebrate the good, right?
That's right. There's so much beauty.
So much beauty.
Everyone, contact Sarah if you're interested in her lovely art. It's light and coded. She does, from what you've seen, she also does the ones behind her, which are abstracts. She has sessions available, so multifaceted. You're a beautiful person.
Thank you. As are
You
you.
you bring me lots of abundance. I love you. Thanks for stepping in this week on my show. Everyone
Yeah.
watching, have a blessed rest of your day. Thanks for listening, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.